All right, so we've got the V4R strapped down on the dyno, and we're about to do our first full throttle pulls. So I want to make note that we've spent a large portion of the day doing our break-in process on this motorcycle. So we have a really extensive and a rather time-consuming process of properly breaking in this engine in a way that's going to produce good power and also do everything safely. We don't want to harm anything by essentially abusing an engine that's not been fully broken in. And they typically don't make full power until we actually really load the thing. On the racetrack, it seems like it's almost impossible to get the engine up to full efficiency on the dyno. So bear in mind what we're about to do. It's on a fully stock motorcycle that's not 100% broken in, but probably more or less 95% broken in. So let's get right to it. We completed our dyno pulls, and I want to say that prior to doing those pulls, we did a substantial amount of break-in on the dyno. We have an entire process that involves working the engine in properly so that we're not affecting the longevity of the engine, and also in our experience it produces a pretty consistently good power delivery and peak power by doing that. So let's get right to the results. This is what a bone stock V4R that's probably 95% broken in produces, and as we can see, and if you can't read that, that's 178, almost 179 horsepower and 72 pound-feet of torque. And what we're seeing here is that after around 13,500, the power falls off dramatically. This is likely due to ECU-based restrictions, and certainly the exhaust is contributing as well. So this is just a starting point, something to keep in mind, but it also goes to show you that an advertised horsepower number, I don't remember what they claim, but it's well over 200 horsepower. That's not necessarily going to be in the trim that it arrives from the factory or at the showroom. So keep in mind that your 200 horsepower bike might actually be a 180 horsepower bike like it is in this case, but we're going to get it there. So next we're going to we'll go ahead and show you some more parts that have come in. So we'll just go through here, and again, forgive us for the mess, but The trailer is fully emptied, so the part of our shop is kind of just a storage area right now. So as you can see, here are our bodywork panels. We went ahead and got everything laid out in here, so you can see most of that. The race seat's not in here, but everything else is. We'll work our way over here. This is going to be the radiator that we use, which is an H2O. This is really a magnificent piece to look at. It's just kind of remarkable with all of the cooling surface area that it has. And this lateral part of the radiator has these sort of ducts to direct cool air into the unit. We think this is going to make a tremendous difference. We did notice right away that on the dyno that the thing ran a bit on the hot side. So moving on, we've just got a handful of other things. We've got some tools and stuff like that we've ordered. We've got our over suspension, which is supposed to dampen certain harmonic frequencies and improve overall feel and grip. We'll see how that goes. We've got our brake calipers. These are Brembo Evo Monoblock brake calipers. This is the exact same caliper that's used in World Superbike. It's essentially the best of the best in terms of what's available outside of the MotoGP paddock. So nice to have those. And again, we're going to be running that with our Gale Speed VRE Master, and with our SBS DS and DS1 and DS2 pads. We're gonna try both compounds and probably wind up mixing them. DS1 in one caliper, DS2 in the other. And I think that's about it for now. It looks like, oh yes, and we also have our MWR World Superbike air filter. You can't forget that. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. We still have a ton of stuff that we have to get in, and obviously there's much more to cover on this bike. So the next step for us is going to be to begin tearing down or removing all the stock stuff and preparing to install some of these goodies. So before we do all of our really advanced electronics that we've got coming, I know I kind of alluded to that, that's going to be a bit of a process. We're having to have some things made, and there's going to be a lot of work involved. So that's going to be probably 3, maybe 4 weeks out before we can do that. In the meantime, we're going to use the stock ECU, and we're going to try some things. Like we're going to try UpMap, which is a way to sort of remap the stock ECU. It's supposed to be really easy. We've never used it here, so we're going to try that. We're also going to do some flashing. So we're just going to compare different ECU tuning products and see how that goes. And then lastly, we still have to sort out our exhaust. We have a special full system that we've ordered. We don't know when we're going to get that, so we're going to order some other stuff in the meantime and just try some things out and test it on the dyno. So we'll get to see. We're not sure how many we're going to try. You know, we don't want to buy 20 exhausts for this thing, but certainly at least a couple. So that's going to be coming up next. So now we're going to start tearing this thing down, and I think that's going to do it for this video. So thank you for watching. See you next time.